Hello, welcome to Draw Tip Tuesday. My name is Koosje Koenen. I love to draw, and that's why I started this channel, because I think sharing the love and the joy of drawing can really inspire. And hopefully this channel and today's video will inspire you on your creative journey and in your drawing practice. Now, a while ago, I came back from Greece, where I taught a 12-day workshop, and it was pretty amazing. I mean, Greece. And I filled not one, but 2 sketchbooks. So today I am going to share one of the 2, and then next week I will share the other one. And I will also explain why I had 2 sketchbooks with me. So this is the larger one. I chose this larger format because I wanted to be able to do drawing demos in it so people could see it. So hence the larger format. And there are drawings in there that are demonstrations during the workshops, but there's also drawings that I did outside of the workshops. So it's a mix of a lot of Greece drawings, traveling, and also by the end, getting back home and moving into fall. Let's get going. This is a Hannah Müller Nostalgie sketchbook. It has smooth pages, which I really love, in combination with ink and also watercolors. I used the wrap of the sketchbook to create an envelope with, and I thought that was so clever. And of course, in the beginning, I have this ritual of drawing my hands and then writing my contact details in case I lose my sketchbook. And the sketchbook starts in the airport, where I draw people, and then my first few hours in Greece. I meet the group, and to make sure that I remember all the names as quickly as I can, I draw everyone and write their names. And after that first meeting and orientation, we didn't really have class, but at least I did a warm-up with everyone. And I really had to laugh about the things that people were saying about the one-liner drawings that they were doing of each other and of themselves. Here's a continuous line drawing of the view of one of the squares in Athens. And I also started a color palette collection. I kept going back to this page for adding colors that I noticed during my travel. Here I did a little bit of collage with the ferry ticket. And this is a one-liner of people in the group. It was during one of the classes. And here we are on the island of Amorgos. And I did snippets on the left-hand side with a limited color, which was a class. And then on the right-hand side, I did a drawing of the blue domes and then added line, which was outside of class. And I had a lot of fun doing that. This was also outside of class. I started a drawing and then I had some white space left, so I went back and did the drawing of the interior of the restaurant here. And I actually started with this little doorway, and then from there on I built the drawing looking at all the things towards me. And this is the demo drawing that I did about the spiraling technique, starting with the window and then spiraling around that starting point to add more and more and more. Here's the next day's demo drawing. I started with a blob for awnings that I saw, and then I added pink for line on top. And I kept blobbing my way through the day, drawing some of the people I was sitting at the table with during lunch. Here's a cultural activity that we did, visiting this beautiful place where they make essential oils, and we got some demonstrations there. It was really nice. It's like a sanctuary, and it was really nice to sit there with everybody from the group. Here, while we were waiting for the group, I drew part of the group sitting there and drawing. And I like how the foreground really informs the background and gives it a lot of depth. This is collage from Collage Day. So this is one of my demo pieces where I first did collage and then drew on top. And that is my other collage, which has a very different composition. And then I found that turning the page was actually better for drawing on top of it. Left is a drawing done during dinner, and then on the right hand side I have played with a little bit of coffee and drawing one of the course participants who sat at the table with me. Drawing my room and the gorgeous view on this beautiful island. I found this beautiful botanical garden. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I first started with the greens and it was completely messy. It didn't look like anything, but then someone sat at the left of me and he completely saved the drawing because I drew him and then I could put the emphasis more on him. Everything else made more sense as well, and I added darks behind him so there's more focus on his face. Contrast always makes a huge difference. Then the ferry was delayed, so we had class, and on the left hand side you can see my demo drawing. I started it but finished it while everybody else was working on their own piece. And on the right hand side I did this drawing after we arrived on Naxos. This was people drawing day. So these are demo drawings where I demonstrate approaches and ways to capture people and their postures. Then the afternoon was off and I drew in a cafe with a beautiful view. The next day I did this drawing. I started it as a demonstration drawing and then everybody could just do their own thing and we all sat together and drew. The assignment was to combine a lot of things that we had been doing so far during our trip. I don't love this, but I wanted to use the map and then I drew on top, but it's just messy and it doesn't matter. This is a drawing in which I taught about using your foreground and your background. And in the evening I drew panels in my sketchbook and in about 2 hours time I filled them all. I found a color palette to make it easier on myself and to bring cohesion in there. It was right after sunset when I started my first drawing and then it started to get darker. And I filled some of the panels during dinner and then also on my way back to the hotel. This is, by the way, on Santorini, and I did the panels the evening before to practice for the class that I taught. And this is the page that I started for a demonstration in class so that everybody could see what the assignment was. While everybody was working on the assignment, I filled the rest of the panels, and again, I found a very limited colored palette. We had a fantastic boat trip, and this is a drawing while we had dinner on the boat. Here on the left hand side is, I think it was the last day, and then on the right hand side the next day I was flying back home and drawing people in the airport. Collage can make things a little bit messy, and that is certainly the case for this page. But one of the workshop participants gave me these really beautiful pieces of paper and I wanted to use them. I could have made better use of them, I think, but I was tired and sitting there with my feet up. Just tired from 2 weeks of teaching. And after 2 weeks of Greece, I was back home in a beautiful fall-colored country, just in time for the pears as well from our backyard. Also traveling by train again, and on the right-hand side I drew along with Suhita Shirodkar, who had a free drawing session drawing pumpkins. I met up with my drawing buddies and had lunch and drew together with them. There on the left is my husband, who doesn't look like my husband. And on the right-hand side, I visited Just Draw Party again on YouTube, where I found these great model gestures to draw. On the left, a coffee break, and I started actually drawing the pug. And once I did that, I needed to put more on the page, so I drew the person and their surroundings as well. And coincidentally, I also joined Draw With Me with Danny Gregory on YouTube, and that day he had photos of his 2 pugs as reference photos. So here I am, hardly ever drawing pets and animals, and now there's a whole spread of pugs. A drawing of my husband on the left, colorful drawing of autumn leaves. This is in the back of my sketchbook, and on the right hand side you can see some stains of watercolor. During class in Greece, I showed how you can mix an endless range of skin colors, and that was on this last page. So I just drew on top of it, and well, it's in a bakery and the colors are kind of similar to bread, I guess. And this is also from the people drawing class earlier in Greece. I often use the back of my sketchbook to test materials. And also I noticed someone wearing a t-shirt saying "an apple a day, you die anyway," which made me laugh, and then I wrote it down. So that's a pretty good use of that last page of your sketchbook. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I have taken you to Greece for just a little moment through my drawings. This might be my favorite. It tells everything about the whole Greece trip, even though this was just done in about an hour, maybe a little over an hour. But basically, it's hard to pick a favorite, isn't it? I mean, all the drawings add up to this whole sketchbook and this whole story that is part of my life. If you need an assignment for this week, then I would say, based on this sort of favorite-ish drawing, fill a page with 5 panels, 5 frames, and then fill them throughout your day. You can do like 5-minute drawings or even 10 throughout the day. Just pick a moment that you pause and take a break and do one of the drawings. And then by the end of the day, you'll have a little story, just a random story that you created throughout the day. So let the process surprise you and stay curious. Now, if you are interested in joining me on one of these awesome travel workshops, then please check out the link that I'm sharing below. I'm going to Italy next year, Lisbon, Spain, and a lot more. The workshops are the cherries on the cake for me throughout the year, and then especially the people in the groups. And yeah, I would love to have you there. And if traveling is not available for you, then please join me online. My monthly mini workshops are really fun to join. It's easy and accessible. So maybe I will see you there. Anyway, next week I will be here again with another Draw Tip Tuesday video. So please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss out. See you next week. Bye.